Okay, hi, my name is Ian Brunswick. I work at Science Gallery at Trinity College Dublin, and I worked on the Rapid Residency program, which paired artists with scientists for virtual collaborative residencies over 5 weeks during the COVID-19 lockdown. The 9th of November 1989, I was like a 6-year-old in a suburb of Chicago, totally unaware of what was happening. But I do have this memory of seeing the images on the TV screen and realizing something big was happening. I just wanted to go to museums when I was a kid, and I guess I've kind of gotten that. Um, so now sometimes I need to take a break from museums and galleries, but I have kind of gotten my wish. So the rapid residencies, they break barriers to interdisciplinary collaboration, the barriers between art and science that separate these two disciplines and approaches. It breaks down barriers to two-way communication so that people aren't just broadcasting or just listening, but are in fact communicating as equals by bringing people together. But also literally breaks down barriers to isolation. So we've all been cooped up for months, and that stifles creativity and the ability to collaborate. And we wanted to see could we foster collaboration in a way that's resilient during this lockdown. So in one sentence, the Rapid Residency Program was an open call for ideas around art and technology, science and society issues, and we awarded 18 residents €1,000 each and paired them with 2 academic advisors with whom they collaborated over 5 weeks. So during the COVID-19 lockdown, opportunities for artists totally dried up in Ireland and in many places around the world. So we launched a round of experimental virtual residencies, which were available for artists and designers to collaborate with scientists over 5 weeks. And the aims were twofold. Obviously, a financial injection to artists was much needed at this time, but also we wanted to prototype a new method of cultivating, this cross-disciplinary collaboration between artists and researchers that at Science Guy we have experience doing, but not in the current environment. It's hard to get people to collaborate when you can't even get them together for a coffee and introduce them. So the project paid artists to research and develop a new idea in collaboration with these scientists and researchers over 5 weeks, and we did it via Zoom and Teams over the phone, and it really relied on this thoughtful matchmaking, curating, really good communication, and it showed you could do this across geography or barriers that were suddenly very significant during a pandemic. Well, because there was a total collapse in support for artists, they were in a lot of trouble and needed support, but also there was going to be a collapse in transdisciplinary work coming out of those communities. So we wanted to do something that would help the pipeline of transdisciplinary art and science kind of collaborations further down the line that would be showcased to the public. What surprised us the most? I think the uptake and the reaction. Like when we had 5 residencies on offer originally, but we got 200 applications in only like 4 days. So we were able to get extra funding and up it to 18. And then on the other side, in 24 hours, we had more than 50 scientists who volunteered to mentor and kind of advise these projects, which that just blew us away. What makes our project unique? It's totally not resource intensive. So we had 18 grants, €1,000 each. This cost 18K to run. But the artists said they'd never gotten this kind of scientific output and they wouldn't have known how to get it or input otherwise. And the scientists said the experience changed their perspective on their own work, but also on how they communicated and how they engaged the public. So it was incredibly effective in a very short amount of time, despite the boundaries. How does society benefit? So the ideas we were supporting were early phase. Some might become performances, some might become installations, but some might come to nothing. It was a high risk, high reward approach. And society needs platforms for polished ideas, public engagement that is surefire and we know where it's going to go. But we also need and can't forget about investment in early phase ideas that are risks. So there was a project that was an experiential artwork about parts of the brain that had to do with comprehension, but it was a really early phase idea and they needed advice. There was one project and somebody wanted to document the intersection of craft and medicine around mask making around the COVID-19 pandemic and the kind of open source sharing. And another duo of artists wanted to research ways that they could use online and open source technologies to document the experience of Black communities in Ireland. And we wanted to support them in that. So there were very diverse, but also very kind of different phase projects here. But we need to have a facility to invest in those ideas at the early stage. I think I talk to my computer a lot and all day and to a lot of different people, or one person all the time. I'm not sure. I think we have to see how we can scale this and what the efficacy of it is and how many of these will come to fruition. I guess if there's somebody who I should have introduced to somebody else and they would have gotten on like a house on fire, would have gotten on really well, that would keep me up at night.